Lovely yoginis and yogis, welcome. I'm Jo from Hut Yoga, and today we'll be doing a beautiful general yoga practice suitable for all levels. And it'll be about a 60-minute practice. Let's get started. Let's get on our mats. So we start in a comfortable seated position. So that can be Sukhasana, easy pose, cross-legged position. If this position isn't okay for you because of knees or hips or for whatever reason, you can be kneeling, perhaps popping a cushion between your thighs and your calf muscles for comfort, or you can have your legs extended out to the front. If you're in Sukhasana, cross-legged pose, pop a cushion or a couple of folded blankets underneath your buttocks. This just makes sitting for longer periods a little more comfortable, and we tilt the pelvis slightly. So today's practice is an all levels practice. If you're newer to yoga, feel absolutely free to come out of the postures when you need to. We will be holding some of the postures for up to 5 to 10 breaths, and then just joining back in when you're ready. If you're more experienced yoga, you've been practicing for some time, then feel absolutely free to go deeper into the poses. Hi Lester. This is Lester, our yoga cat, and he loves it here in the studio. So he's probably going to do a little bit of yoga with us today as well. So we'll be using a couple of props today, a block and a belt. So if you don't have a yoga block, a good sturdy book is fine, about this size. And for the yoga belt, any strap that you have around the house will be fine as well. Just make sure it's quite a long strap. So let's get started. So we're going to start straight away with the work of the legs. And we want to bring, if you're cross-legged, bring these shins towards one another. You can use your hands here, one hand to the front shin, one hand to the back, and just press those shins towards each other. That just helps us to get the legs working, activated, and to get a little bit more lift through the spine and openness through the belly and openness through the chest. And then we're going to bring the fingertips down to the floor, and it's a light press in to get even a little bit more. So we really start to feel into the upper chest and the upper back, and very open here through the clavicle chest. We place the hands in a mudra. We bring the hands up onto the thighs, thumb and first finger together, and you can have your palms up for chin mudra. Chin mudra is the gesture of consciousness, or you can have your palms down for gyan mudra, which is the gesture of knowledge. So whichever one feels right for you today. And we have the arms fairly long, so we're not tucking these elbows back into the waist. Fairly long, so we've got beautiful long line of for energy to come into the body through the fingers, through the mudra. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, close the eyes. Take another deep breath in and out. Breathing in deeply and exhaling completely. And then allow the breath to naturally settle. Breath is in and out through the nose. We move into the practice of natural breath awareness. So in this practice, natural breath awareness, we bring our full focus, our full attention to the breath, to the feeling of the breath, the movement of it, to the inhalation and the exhalation. And if your mind feels busy, if there's lots of thoughts in the mind, we find an anchor point for the practice. So you can bring your awareness to the tip of your nose, or any of these places along the center line of the body. You can rest your awareness at the eyebrow center, at the throat pit, at the sternum, center of the chest, at the navel center. We find this anchor point for our practice, this resting place, and we watch the breath from here. And just knowing that the thoughts will come and go, it's the nature of the mind to think. And one of our goals in yoga, of our yoga practice, is to still the mind. And one way we can do this is by bringing our awareness, our attention to the breath. When moving your awareness now, bringing the awareness fully into the physical body. Physical body is called Annamaya Kosha in yoga. Awareness of the shape of the body, the outline of it. And bringing awareness to the base of the body, feeling the body in contact with the floor. Each contact point of body and floor. Bring awareness to the crown of the head. And now to the right side of the body, as if you were standing to the right of yourself and you could see your right profile. To the left side. To the back of the body now, as if you were standing behind yourself. You could see the whole back of the body, back of the head, back of the neck, whole back. And now to the front of the body, face, throat, chest, abdomen, the legs. And now the whole body, visualizing or imagining yourself in your seated position on your mat. Whole body awareness. And then releasing that. And we'll chant the mantra Om together 3 times. Take a deep breath in. Om. Bring the hands to prayer position. This is Pranam Mudra or Anjali Mudra. Back to the thumbs rest at the sternum. We spread the fingers a little bit and we press the palms together a little more firmly so we can feel the hands and that beautiful heart-hand connection. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in and out. Hari Om. That's it. And gently open the eyes. So we'll start with our first posture, first asana. So you'll hear me use the word posture and asana, and I'll also often say the Sanskrit name and the English name for the poses. So when we practice yoga, breath is in and out through the nose. So we're in a cross-legged position, Sukhasana. We're just going to start with a lovely twist. I'm just going to open up the body a little bit. And you can do this pose from kneeling or with your legs long out to the front as well. We're going to twist to the right. So take your right hand behind you. Take your left hand onto your right knee. And so as soon as we take the right hand behind us, we start to twist. And we're going to go a little bit deeper. So we inhale, lift long, and exhale, turn. So we turn to the right. We're staying up on the fingertips of the back hand. So this just sends a message to the body to stay long through the fingers, long through the arm, and long through the spine. If you come down onto the palm of your hand, we can tend to start kind of leaning back or collapsing down into the belly. And so we've turned the head as well, as far as is comfortable for the neck. The eyes are closed. You can absolutely have your eyes open, but if your eyes are open, keep the gaze fixed on one point. So in yoga, we call this drishti, where the gaze goes. It's a practice that helps us to internalize our awareness. So even though the eyes may be open, if we fix the gaze at one point, we can keep that practice of internalizing. If the gaze is wandering all around the room, the mind will be wandering as well. We're going to come a little bit deeper. Bring this right hand off the floor, bring it around behind you. So the back of your hand might be down by your spine, might be coming around towards the left waist, and these fingertips might reach around and touch this left side, just as far as is comfortable. Awareness of the breath. And then take an inhale and exhale, and gently come all the way back to the front. And we swap sides. Left hand behind you, right hand onto left knee. Up on the fingertips of the back hand, inhale, lift long, and exhale, turn to the left. Head is turned as far as comfortable, eyes are closed, all the gaze is steady on one point. Bring your awareness to your breath, to the inhalation and the exhalation. And then again, we go a little bit deeper. This left hand comes up behind you, bring it around. Might be resting on the spine, on the low back, on the right waist, or the fingertips might be coming around and reaching onto the, touching onto the thigh, resting on the side. And inhale and exhale, come all the way back to the front. Bring the hands down alongside you. We're going to turn the right palm up. Bring this right arm up to the sky. You can have a look at the hand. We're going to rotate through the wrists a few times to warm up the wrists and the hands. And then we're going to reach super high through these fingertips. We're straight up and down. We're right on our sit bones. We're not leaning back or leaning forward. Reach high, and as you exhale, sway to your left. So this left hand can stay on the floor just next to your left thigh. You can walk it away from you a bit if you like, or as far as you like, as long as your right buttock, right knee doesn't come off the floor. If we keep walking and we go too far, further than the body's ready to open, this is what will happen. So we just come back, we ease off, keep the knees even, keep reaching through these right fingertips. This upper arm is very, very straight. And we inhale up and exhale down. Turn the left palm up. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Have a look up at your hand. Rotate through your wrists a few times. And then again, reaching super high, torso straight up and down. Inhale up, exhale. Swaying to the right. So we're swaying like a young sapling in the breeze. Again, these right fingertips this time, they can walk away from you. Keep both buttocks firm on the floor. So we're opening here from the iliac crest, that's your big bone underneath your waist, waist opening, ribs opening, intercostal muscles, armpits opening. It's a beautiful movement for the body. You know, we don't move this way very often in daily life. But lovely to bend sideways, open up the sides of the body, inhale up and exhale down. Turn both palms up, inhale, both arms up to the sky. Bring the backs of the hands to touch, exhale, come all the way down, palms up. We're really reaching out to the side walls and up. Backs of the hands touch, exhale. Inhale, arms up. Palms stay together this time. We're going to exhale, bring the hands down. So they're resting in front of the chest. And then we inhale wide, so the arms are like wings. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Hands back at prayer. Close the eyes just for a moment. Just feeling the breath. And take a deep breath in and out. We're going to interlock the hands and take them behind our back. So we just do a wee forward fold here. We're going to inhale, reach super long. If you've got long legs, bend your knees a little bit. We're going to inhale, exhale, fold forward. So we're not trying to bring the forehead to the mat, we're just coming forward as far as we do. Some of us will just come a little way forward. That's beautiful, perfectly perfect. So you'll come a little bit further. And then we're going to stay on the forward fold, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands down, inhale, lift the torso. And bring the hands back to the front. We're going to change the cross of the legs, which always feels a little bit weird because we always have that preferred way of sitting. So if we sit cross-legged, we always usually, that same leg goes to the front. For me, it's always the right leg. So this is good, a little bit of brain gym. And we're also going to change the cross of the hands. So if you normally interlock with your right thumb on top, you're going to interlock with your left thumb on top. Take the hands behind the back, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. And then get comfortable here in your forward fold. Inhale, bring the arms up. This is great work for our shoulders, really good for our immunity, to get good work into the upper back, especially during the winter months. And then hands down and inhale up. Release the legs, extend them out to the front. Have the feet about hip width apart. This pose is called Dandasana, or sometimes called Parabhakshtiti. It simply means staff pose. The arms are down alongside you. It's one of those poses that is deceptively strong. So if you find that it starts to feel too strong, absolutely, you can bring your lean back into your hands a little bit. If you're comfortable though, hands down alongside you. And you're just looking straight ahead to start with. And we're getting this beautiful 90-degree angle in the body. We're going to press a little more firmly with the calf muscles, so maybe the heels come off the floor slightly. And we're holding here for 5 breaths. If you want to go a little bit deeper and it's not too strong for you, bring your chin down towards your chest. You might feel your thighs shaking a little bit. It's just quite a strong pose. And then inhale and exhale, soften. So we're going to come over into a kneeling position and we'll be using our block. So this pose is called Virasana. You're going to have your block horizontal or your book horizontal, and we're going to pop that block underneath us and we're going to sit back down on it. If you don't have a block or a book handy, you can be in a kneeling position, just buttocks on the heels. And if one block isn't enough, pop another one underneath or another folded up blanket or cushion. So this pose is called Hero's Pose. It's a wonderful pose for our posture. So as soon as we sit like this, we tend to lift and lengthen through the spine a little bit more. Also a great pose for your digestion. So when we're in this pose, we want the knees a little way apart, but they're not splayed wide, wide, wide. And I want you to pop your hands onto your pinky toes and get those pinkies onto the floor. We're pressing the whole tops of the feet onto the floor, and we're also pressing the whole shin onto the floor. So if we just let ourselves be heavy in this pose, we just kind of fall into it. We collapse. The belly collapses. We want to create spaciousness in our body throughout the yoga practices. So a way to do that in this pose is to really press into the shins. So it's like your foot comes from your toes right to the top of your shins. So we press in. We don't come right off the block, but it's like we're kind of lifting up, getting a little bit of lightness, so the legs are doing the work for us. Bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. Palms up, tuck the elbows in towards your waist. They're pointing to the wall behind you. Close your eyes. And bring awareness to your breath. And if you're going a little bit deeper, you can bring the chin down towards the chest. If that feels too strong, simply bring the chin parallel to the floor. And inhale and exhale. And gently open the eyes. It's a beautiful practice, Virasana. You can use it as a meditation posture as well. So we're going to come into Adho Virasana, which means downward facing hero's pose. You need your block or your book. Have your feet fairly close to the end of your mat. You're going to sit back on your heels. Take your knees a little bit wide, not wide, so not as wide out to the sides of the mat, but wider than hip width. The big toes are touching or coming towards each other. Bring your block forward. You'll see where it needs to be when you come down. Bring your hands forward of your knees. Slide your hands forward and bring the forehead down onto the block. Spread the fingers. Have the wrists and the forearms off the floor. So what happens when we come into this pose, sometimes, the buttocks come up away from the heels. If they don't touch the heels, it's absolutely fine, but we want to bring them as close as we can. So soften the arms. You can press through the heels of your hands, bring those buttocks back towards the heels. It's like you're reaching your buttocks with a wall behind you. And then once they're there, as far as they'll comfortably come for you, so it's different for everyone. Might be touching, might not be touching. Bring your forehead back down and then reach your arms forward. Really spread your fingers. So we want to feel the arms here, and we're lengthening from the fingers all the way through the back of the body, also through both sides of the body. And we're increasing the crease at the tops of the thighs. And then inhale, come all the way back, lift the torso. You're going to come into a standing kneel. So the next pose is sometimes called half dog pose or puppy dog pose, and also a beautiful name for it, anahatasana, means heart melting pose. So it's very similar to what we've just done, but we're doing it from a standing kneel. So we're going to bring the hands down. These thighs are going to stay straight up and down. Hi, Lester. And then again, we're just going to slide these hands forward. So I'm just going to move the block out of the way. I'm going to bring my forehead to the mat. If it feels too strong for you, through your shoulder girdle, you can bring your block back, put your block underneath your head, or don't have the arms coming so far forward and keep the head on the block. If you're coming a little bit deeper, arms long, fingers spread, forehead to the mat. And then inhale, come all the way back. Keep those toes turned under. We're going to come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We're going to bring our arms long again. Hands shoulder width apart. Belly on the thighs. Head is off the floor. We're just getting the distance that we need between our wrists, the heels of our hands and our knees. Come up onto all fours. Have a look at your hands. So these hands, your middle finger pointing straight to the front of your mat, your thumbs even. Toes turned under, take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift your knees, raise your buttocks, tailbone high. So when we first come into the pose, we've been down on the floor for quite a while, so absolutely, walking up and down on the spot, just want to open the backs of the legs. The feet are at least hip width apart, and the hands shoulder width apart. Don't worry about the heels. If the heels are off the floor, that's absolutely fine. And feel the breath. If it's feeling too strong for you through your upper body, any part of your arms or shoulders, bend your knees a little. And you can always take hold of the sides of your mat rather than having the hands flat on the floor. And then we're going to walk our feet forward to our hands. Walk the feet forward. And we're just going to be here in a very soft forward fold. So we're going to fold our torso into our thighs. Release our head so the crown of the head is hanging for the floor. And keep the knees bent. Keep them a little bit soft. So just an easy Uttanasana, standing forward fold. And then we're going to step back one more time. Step the feet back. So Remember those alternative hand positions, holding on to the sides of the mat if there's wrist or shoulder or elbow issues. And you can always bend the knees here. And then walking the feet forward again. Bend the knees, press down with your feet, inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale. Hands into prayer position. Samastiti. And then release the hands. So moving to standing postures. First posture is Tadasana. So we'll have the feet hip width apart. Have a look down at your feet. Lift your toes, spread your toes, and place the feet back down. So we want the feet even on the mat, both big toes facing straight ahead. And then to get some work again through the legs, I want you to feel as though you're turning your feet out. But of course, they're staying straight ahead, but we feel as though we're scrubbing those feet out. And we call them Charlie Chaplin feet, as if you were turning your feet out. And this is going to really activate your feet, activate your lower legs. So against that, in the lower legs and the feet, we're going to roll our thighs towards one another. So it's like the lower legs are going one way and the upper legs going the other way. But the effect this is having is to get these thighs pointing straight ahead and the legs working so we can get, again, that beautiful lift through the pelvic floor, openness through the belly and openness through the chest. Bring the hands down alongside you. And we press our fingers down towards the earth so the arms are active. And then we can take the pinkies back very slightly. So we're not taking the arms back behind us. Just take them back very slightly and then press the pinkies down towards the earth. So we get more openness here through the chest again, through this clavicle chest. And the gaze is straight ahead. You can close the eyes if you're comfortable here. This is Tadasana. It's the mountain pose. This is our foundation pose for all of our standing poses in yoga. We want to feel from the feet. So bring your awareness back to your feet. And we want to be even, have an evenness of weight through the feet. So we're not leaning back into the heels, we're not leaning forward into the toes. You can play around with this a little bit, rock backwards and forwards a few times, and then find your center. Find your center, activate your legs, press down through your fingers, and take an in-breath and an out-breath, and soften. So we'll do a few rounds of modified Surya Namaskar today. We're going to start with some rounds of half sun salutes and then move a little bit deeper into the practice. So you step up to the front of your mat, feet hip width apart. Just a note on this before we start. So I'm quite close to the wall, so I'll be bringing my hands up and down. If you've got more space, you can do beautiful, be really graceful with your arms. You can bring them up and exhale as you come down like a beautiful swan dive. Hands into prayer, samastiti. Starting with half sun salute. So we'll just be standing on the spot. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Soft knees, belly on thighs. Inhale, straight legs, look forward. To get straight legs, if your hands need to come up onto your thighs or your shins, that's absolutely fine. Exhale, bow deeply. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful deep bow. Inhale, straight legs, look forward. Exhale, deep bow. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straight legs. Exhale, deep bow. Inhale all the way up and exhale. We're going to go a little bit deeper into the practice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, you're going to step your right foot back. Right foot, nice big step back. Bring your right knee to the floor. Be up on the fingertips. Lift your heart, lift your chest, open the heart, look forward. We're going to step back into down dog. So we lift the back knee, step the front foot back, down dog pose. And we're just doing a modified version of Surya Namaskar today. Knees to the floor. And we're going to do Bittilasan Majariasan. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, down dog pose. So for those of you who are been practicing for a while and you know you can step your foot through, you're going to step your left foot through between your hands. Otherwise, come with me, both knees down. And we're going to bring the left foot through. We come up onto the right fingertips. Left hand comes up to create space. Left hand through between the hands. Look up, look forward, chest open. Lift the back knee. Bring the back foot forward. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot this time. Left foot, big step back. Back knee down. Up on the fingertips. Look forward. Lift the chest. Open the heart. Bring the back foot, front foot to the back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Exhale to the knees. Inhale, look forward. Beautiful little back bend here. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, neutral spine. And exhale, down dog. So this time it's the right foot that comes forward between the hands. You can do a big step forward, one step. Otherwise, both knees down. And then bringing that foot forward between the hands. Lift the heart. Bring the back foot forward. Inhale all the way up. And exhale. We pause here for a few breaths. And then release the arms. So we'll move into some standing postures. First pose, Trikonasana. You're going to stand wide on your mat. Lovely wide stance with your feet. Both sets of toes facing straight ahead to this long side of your mat. I'm just going to straighten my mat out. And then bring the hands to the tops of your thighs. We're going to pick up our right toes, and I want you to use your right hand to turn your whole right leg out. Bring those right toes to the floor. Have a look down at your feet. This left foot is going to angle slightly towards the front as well. We want the feet and the heel to arch alignment. So if your feet were together, they'd be like a T. What happens when we do poses like this, where we've got one foot turned out? The back hip often wants to follow the front hip. So all we need to do is we don't force the hip back. We're just going to bring our belly and our chest to face this long side of our mat. And the hip will come back as far as is comfortable and available for your body. Bring the hands into prayer position. Inhale your arms up to shoulder height. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to reach into the right. Bring the right hand down to the leg and bring the left arm up. You can be looking straight ahead here. You can tuck your chin into your chest and look up at your left hand. Reach through those fingertips of your left hand. You know, there's always modification, so if there's shoulder issues or arm issues, keep that hand on the waist. This hand that's down on your shin, thumb to the front of the shin bones, fingers to the back of the shin bone. And we're pressing through the feet. So we're getting some beautiful work through the inner legs. The legs are strong. And then inhale, come all the way up. Turn your right toes in, hands into prayer position. Both sets of toes facing the front. Hands to the tops of the thighs, and this time left toes, lift them up. Turn your leg, turn it with your left hand, turn that whole left foot out. Toes spread, feet heel to arch alignment, back toes turn slightly to the front. And again, we turn our chest and our belly to face the long side of our mat. Hands into prayer position. Inhale, arms up to shoulder height. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, reach. Reach to the left, so we're increasing the crease at the top of this left thigh. Left hand down, right arm up. And again, you can look straight ahead, or you can tuck the chin and look up at that right hand. Keep reaching through the right fingertips. Keep pressing with the feet. Trikonasana, triangle pose. So you feel kind of like a star in this pose, like a shining star. Feel that energy coming out through the fingertips. And then inhale all the way up. Hands into prayer, turn the toes in, and then you can heel toe the feet together. Samastiti. Take a breath. And then step the feet wide again. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So we're going to do the same thing with the feet. Turn the right foot out. Heel to arch alignment. Hands into prayer position. Abdomen, chest facing the long side of your mat. Bring your arms up to shoulder height. You're going to take an inhale, exhale, bend your front knee. So what's important here is that this shin is straight up and down, or if we're not lunging so far, that the shin is on facing on an angle back. So don't let the knees come over towards the toes, and make sure the knee is tracking towards the middle toes. So you might need to have a little bit of a wider stance. And sometimes what happens is the right shoulder wants to follow the right knee, so we end up kind of reaching in. We need to bring your torso back. And then you can look over your right hand and feel the breath. Keep pressing through the back foot, pinky toe side of the back foot. And then inhale all the way to center, right toes in, and left toes out. So this time just come into the lunge. Come into the lunge so that you're comfortable and you've got the good distance between your feet so that your shin can be straight up and down and no toes pointing, no knees coming over towards those toes. Bring your hands into prayer position. Inhale, arms up, and exhale. Turn and look over the left hand. Feel the breath. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Keep pressing through the back foot. And then inhale all the way to center. So we're going to come into a pose called Pavukanasan, and we'll be transitioning through that Warrior 2 pose. Stepping the feet wide, right toes out, coming into a lunge. Bring the arms up to shoulder height. Turn your front palm up. Bring your front arm onto your front thigh. Just resting it there. Left hand onto the left waist just to start. And so this could be your pose. You stay here for the whole pose. So we don't want to, just collapse down into this right thigh. We need to keep pressing through your back foot. So there's still some lightness in the pose. Bring the left hand up to the vertical. Turn the left palm to face towards your head, and then you're simply going to angle your left arm over your head. And then you might come a little bit deeper, bringing the groins a little bit closer towards the floor. And then we're going to have a mighty push with the back leg. Inhale, come all the way up, turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out. Same thing on this side, Pavo Konasana, come into your lunge. Hands into prayer, inhale, arms up to shoulder height. Turn the front hand up. Bring the front forearm onto the front thigh, back hand to the back waist. And then if you're coming deeper, bring the back arm up, palm facing forward, bring the arm over your head. You can just be looking straight ahead. Some people like to look up at the hand or back behind the armpit. Just have your head and your neck in a comfortable position. And then inhale all the way up. Turn the toes in. Heel toe them in. Samastiti. You can close the eyes for a moment, take a few breaths. And then step to the front of your mat. Hands into prayer. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. You're going to step both feet back, down dog pose. We're just going to be here up to 5 breaths. The next pose is child's pose. Bring your knees to the floor and curl your toes, buttocks to heels. And we don't just fall into this pose. It's quite a graceful pose. Bring your fingers back slightly. Lift your torso and then fold forward over these thighs. Forehead comes to the mat, hands back down by your feet. If you've got high blood pressure or low blood pressure, or you just want a little bit of an easier pose, bring your block back, put your forehead on your block, or have your hands in front and fist and keep the forehead there. It's keeping the head level with the heart. If the hands are down by your feet, we're still keeping some work into the body. So we're going to have the forearms off the floor, back to the hands on the floor, wrists on the floor, but forearms up. And then inhale, lift the head, lift the torso. So here we are, back in Virasana, hero's pose. Just taking a few breaths here. And then coming back to sit cross-legged. You're going to bring your block or a wee stack of books to the front, and we're going to do just a nice soft forward fold. So we bring the hands in front of us and we pad the hands forward like a cat, as if we were Lester the cat walking across the room. And we bring the forehead down to the block. So you might need more support here, but we're not bringing the forehead to the floor, just resting the head on the block. It's very calming for the mind to rest the forehead. Have a little bit of pressure on the forehead. And then inhale, bring those hands back towards you, lift your torso. We're going to change the cross of the legs. And same thing, hands to the front, pad those hands forward and forehead down. And then inhale, hands back with the torso. Bring the arms down alongside you. Inhale, arms up. And then bring the hands down in front of the head, down through to the chest. Close the eyes. Simple awareness of the breath. Feeling the movement of the breath in the body. And gently open the eyes. Time for Shavasana. So, our relaxation practice in Shavasana, the pose of Shavasana. It's a pose, but it also gets called a practice as well. So, in Shavasana, you'll be lying on your back. So, we lie down on our back. And just before you come fully into Shavasana, you can also bring your knees into your chest. You can hug the knees in, you can make some circles or rock from side to side. And then feet to the floor. And take the body long. So in Shavasana, the feet are apart from one another. The feet just fall naturally out to the sides. We're not holding our toes up towards the ceiling. Arms down alongside you, palms up, and there's space between the body and the arms. The fingers are softly curled. For some of us, lying flat on our back is not comfortable. If this is the case, you can always bend your knees and have the soles of the feet on the floor. You can take those feet a bit wider and let your knees fall into each other as well. This will help the low back release down. Or you can place blankets or cushions or bolsters underneath your thighs or your knees, and that too will help the low back come down to the floor. And so we just close the eyes here. And settle the body into Shavasana. If it's cool where you are, feel absolutely free to have a blanket as well. And feel that your body is beautifully aligned on your mat. So the legs are evenly placed, the arms, the shoulders, the head and the neck is balanced. Making any final movements, any final adjustments to your clothing or your coverings so that you can remain still for the practice. Eyes and mouth gently closed. Then we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Breathing in. Out through the mouth, big sigh. Deep breath in. And out. And then let the breath be natural and spontaneous. The body breathing in and the body breathing out. Feel the back of the body on the floor, each contact point of body and floor from heels to the back of the head. Feel the front of the body, open, receptive, and the whole body in Shavasana. Bring your awareness to your ears and the sense of hearing. And listening to all of the sounds you can hear around you, actively listening. But letting the awareness move from sound to sound. So not holding on to any one sound. Hear a sound, acknowledge it, drop it. Let it go, move on. And then coming closer. Listening for the sounds of your own body. And even closer, the sound of your breath. The sound of the in-breath, the out-breath, and the space in between. And then releasing that, bringing awareness back to the body and to the right hand. Simple awareness of the right hand, the body remains still. The right arm, right shoulder, armpit, right chest, waist, hip, right leg, right foot. Whole right side of the body. Awareness of the whole right side of the body. Move to the left side, left hand. Left hand. Simple awareness of the left hand. Left arm, shoulder, left side of the torso, hip, left leg, left foot. Move awareness to the back of the body. Right heel, left heel. Back of right leg, back of left leg. Right buttock, left buttock. Small of the back, mid back, upper back. Right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade. Space between the shoulder blades. Right side of back, left side of back, whole back. Whole spine, base to the top. Back of neck, back of head, whole back of the body. Awareness of the crown of the head, and moving to the front of the body, the forehead, the face, whole face, throat, chest, abdomen, hips, fronts of the legs, tops of the feet, and the toes. Have an awareness of the front of the body, the back of the body, and the whole body. The whole body in Shavasana. Whole body resting, and the whole body completely relaxed. Whole body resting, whole body completely relaxed. And bring awareness to your breath, to the body breathing in and the body breathing out. And begin to deepen the breath, longer inhalations, longer exhalations, so that you feel as if the whole body is breathing in and the whole body is breathing out. And then let the breath be natural. Awareness of the sounds you can hear around you. Awareness of your body in Shavasana. Feel the back of the body in contact with the floor and the whole body. Visualize or imagine yourself in Shavasana on your mat, recalling the room you're in, Complete awareness of body, of breath, awareness that the practice of Shavasana is complete. Preparing to reawaken the body by bringing some movement to fingers and toes, hands and feet. You might like to stretch, bring the arms up behind you and stretch. And then bring your arms back down alongside you, bend your knees and turn to lie on one side. If you've got a blanket, take it with you, stay warm. Keep the eyes closed just a little bit longer. And we have a few moments here, some more rest, some more peace and quietude for the body and the mind. Knowing that you've just done something really beautiful for your body and your mind with your yoga practice. Your body will love you for this. All the cells of your body will be dancing with joy. And know that the definition of yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which simply means yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind, the stilling of the mind. And when we experience that during our practice, whether it's our physical practice, our breathwork practice, our relaxation practice, and also in our daily life, then that is the yoga. That is the yoga happening. So preparing to come up to sitting now. Just gently, slowly, quietly, mindfully making your way up to a seated position. You can bring your blankets with you. And then rest the hands either back in a mudra, thumb and first finger together, palms up or down, or you can just rest them on the thighs or in the lap. Lift and lengthen the spine. Feel spaciousness within the spinal column and an inner spaciousness within the body-mind. And bring the hands to prayer position, pranam mudra, backs of the thumbs resting at the sternum. This place at the sternum, center of the chest, is called Hridayakash. That means the heart space. This is why we place our hands here in prayer, connecting with the heart. We spread the fingers a little, press the palms together a little more firmly. We'll chant the mantra Om together 3 times to complete our practice. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om.